Hi, I'm Dede. In this session, we'll perform some seated traditional exercises, which we will make more challenging by adding a compliant or squishy surface. That will be under our hips through the use of a folded towel or a cushion. I'm going to use a folded towel. This instability will create a demand for greater stabilization and balance, which will help us to have better strength and coordination. Eventually, we'll take away the compliant surface and do some flexibility work, which will keep us more mobile. Here's what you'll need: a sturdy armless chair, a folded towel or a cushion. A bath towel is a good size if you're using a towel. Some athletic shoes and some water for hydration. As usual, make sure you have plenty of room around your chair, and remember to always perform the moves at your own pace. All right, so whatever you're going to use, fold it up or place it on your chair. Make sure if you're using a cushion, it's not too tall or too squishy. That will be too compliant or a little too dangerous and risky. I want you to feel a little bit challenged in your chair, but not overly challenged. Let's have a seat now, away from the back of the chair. And then let's just start to do a little bit of rocking from one hip to the other, just to get used to our compliant surface. Holding on right now if you need to, and holding on at any point throughout the session if you need to. So we're emphasizing our core. So the demand for greater stabilization is mostly through our core that we're going to create. Even right now as we're doing this is creating more of a stability demand through our core. Now let's start to lift the opposite heel, opposite heel. So if you lean to the right, your left heel goes up, and vice versa. Now, how do you feel doing it without holding on with both hands? How do you feel doing this without holding on at all? Keep it right for you. Now we'll come back to center, and we'll place our hands on our hips. Lean to one side, lean forward, lean to the other side, lean back, reverse, lean to the side, lean forward, lean to the other side, lean back, reverse. So we're making a little stop at each location. Now let's come back up to the center, and we'll go back to that rocking. Rock and hold, maybe your opposite heel is up, and then center. Rock and hold, and then center. Now as you're rocking and holding, you're keeping your torso upright. You're not leaning back in your chair, and we're not rounding the shoulders. And center, lean, lift your heel and hold. And center. And one more time. Now we'll go back to the pelvic circles. This time they're smooth, around. Stop at the back and reverse. So the only place we stop is when we get to the back. Stop at the back, reverse. And one more time. Can you feel the core muscles switching on in your torso? Remember, your core is everything except your arms, your legs, and your head. Now let's just rock forward and back. Feet about shoulder width, forward and back. Now the movement is coming from our hips. Even though our torso is in motion, it's coming from our hip joints. So your chin stays the same distance from your chest. Hopefully you feel your body temperature coming up right now. All right, now we'll add our feet. Toes up as you lean back, heels up as you lean forward. Forward, heels up, lean back, toes up. Now let's rock to the right. So we lean over, center, over, center. Trying not to shorten your waist. Try to keep the waist the same length on both sides. Now we have our hands on our hips just so we can stay aware of where our center is. Let's go the other way. You can also be holding on to your chair right now. If that feels better, make sure you do that. Otherwise, here. Two more. Now let's go diagonal. Diagonal to the front, like you're taking a sideways bow, and then diagonal to the other direction. Now when you go diagonal to one direction, take your opposite arm diagonal to the back. Counterbalancing from front to back. Two more. Warming up our middle before we warm up anything else. Now let's come back to center. Relax your arms, tap your toes. Right, left, right, left. Eight more. 8, 7. Now shoulder rolls. We go right and around and left. Two more. Now keep your shoulder down. Circle your elbow around. Elbow circles. Now we'll extend the arm a little bit more. Bigger. Bigger. See if your head can turn in the direction of your sweeping arm. Up and around. If you don't want to follow your hand with your eyes, you don't have to. Now make it smaller, both arms, shoulder rolls. Up and around, up and around. Now the shoulders stay down, elbow, circle, circle. That gets a little bit bigger. Do you have enough room to do this? Make sure. And if you need to keep your elbows bent the whole time, then make sure you do. All right, arms down. Heel forward and back. Heel forward and back. Pick up your foot and then gently set your heel down. Opposite arm across to touch the knee. Anytime we pick the foot up off the ground when we're sitting, That calls for greater core stabilization. And if we start to add different positions with our head and our torso and different arms, it gets more challenging. We're still warming up here though. Let's do 4 more. Now a spinal twist, so your feet come down, your arms go out to the sides. Inhale, turn, exhale and twist. Back to the center, turn the other way. Four more. Feel what's happening in your back. 1 more. Now side bend. Let's separate the feet shoulder width. Inhale, arms out, one hand on the chair. Exhale, over, switch. That feels nice on the waist. Last 4 now. All right, back to center. Arms come down, roll the shoulders, step your feet back in. Now we have a step out pattern. We go out, in, out and hold. Stay here. Now reverse it. In, out, in and hold. Let's try that on your left leg. Out, in, out, hold. And then in, out, in, hold. Let's try it with a swiveling arm. Hold. And then reverse. And then switch legs. Are you still sitting up tall? Let's go the same tempo. Right leg, both arms. Wait. And then go. Switch legs. Let's do it again. Right leg. How about bigger arms? Switch legs. Do it again. Bigger arms. Elbows bent or elbows straight. Up to you. Switch legs. All right, bring it down. Roll your shoulders. Can you feel the difference between sitting on just a regular chair and sitting on a chair with a compliant surface? I can. I don't feel quite as stable, which is good. We're challenging our core more, so we need that instability. Take your feet wide, hands on your legs, straight and tall here. Inhale. Exhale forward. Go again. Now we're up, stay here, turn, kneeling lunge, seated lunge. So you have your knee under your hip and your knee over your ankle. We'll stay here. We'll rock the pelvis forward and back. Do it with me. Forward and back. Let's take the arms open and closed in front. Press your pelvis forward. Feel that right across your front pocket area of your hip and thigh. Now stop, switch sides. Coming around. I think I like seated lunges better than I like regular lunges. Make sure your compliant surface goes with you. Now tuck, release, tuck, release. Arm goes back and forward. And then stop. Let's come back to center. Make sure your compliant surface, whatever you're sitting on, your cushion or your towel, is right underneath you. Make sure you're not against the back of the chair. Now we have our hands on our legs. We're going to pick up where we left off with that pattern. So we'll take our heel forward, back, forward and pause, and then we'll reverse it. Do it with me. In, out, in and pause. Now switch. Out, in, out and pause. In, out, in and pause. Now do it with the right. Go faster. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Switch. Switch. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Add some arms. The arms go where your feet go. Forward, in, forward, back, forward, back. Now you know how we can make this even tougher? We can lean the torso back a little bit. So if you want things to get tougher, next round, let's lean back a little bit. Can you feel the challenge in your abdominal muscles? Make sure you're not rounding your back and you're not tucking your chin to your chest. Let's do some heel presses now. Right, left. Move the arms. Four more, 3 more, 2. Now both heels up and down. Up and down. Stretch through your toes. Now as the heels go up, our torso leans forward. You can take your hands across your chest. Is your back straight? It should be straight. Your neck, your head, all in one straight line with your back. Up on your toes. Let's do some more. Bring your elbows close to your knees if you can, without rounding. Strengthening our calves, warming up to our toes and ankles, keeping them limber. Let's do 2 more. Now we're sitting up tall, holding on to the chair. 1 foot comes up. Hold, 2, 3, both feet down. Other foot up and hold, 2, 3, and down. Again. Can you do it without holding on with one hand? How about without holding on with any of your hands? Now we'll add some arms. Up, 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 and everything down. Up, and everything down. So to hold on to your good posture here, that calls for lots of stability. Are you leaning back? Don't lean away from me. Stay tall. Keep your chest lifted. Up, 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 down. Now hold on to the chair. Step out, out, in. We go out, out, in with the right foot leading. Now we're going with the beat of the music here. But what I'd like to do is do something syncopated. That means a little outside the beat of the music, and that looks like this. Out, out, in, in. Out, out, in, in. Out, in. It's almost like we're jumping, but we're not. Now let's go back with the beat of the music. Left foot first. Out, out, in, in. And we're holding on because we can help create some stability and strength through our core by holding on. But in a minute, we're going to have the option to not hold on. All right, you're ready to go outside the beat of the music? Let's try it. Out, out, in, in. Out, out, in, in. I hope you feel your heart rate coming up right now. I know I do. Now with the beat of the music, right foot. Out, out, in, in. Holding on if you need to, otherwise you're here with me. Now let's go syncopated, outside the rhythm of the music. Out, in. Back to the beat, left foot leads. Out, out, in, in. Now let's do the syncopated rhythm. Okay, heel presses. Right, left, right, left. Let's take a little break now. So we'll settle the heels down. Fold your arms here. Tip forward from your hips. Long, straight spine. Just taking a little break. When there's a demand for so much stabilization, our back muscles can get tired, or waist muscles, or abdominal muscles. Giving them a break is much better than having poor form and risking an injury. It's always okay to rest. All right, let's come up. Now we'll do some heel digs forward, right and left. Heel dig, forward, forward. Opposite arm, touch the knee. Let's try both hands touching the knee, both hands. We're still not leaning forward with a rounded spine though. We're still sitting up tall. How about not touching the knee? How about in front? In front. You can bring your thumbs up here. Now how about if we do this leaning back a little bit? Keep your chest lifted. Challenge your core. Last 4, 3, 2. Now we sit up tall. We're going to take the right foot out and in, out and in. Point the toe. You don't have to touch your heel down. Point your toe. 2 more. Now let's do that same leg reach to the other side. Out, in. Now when your leg goes out, you might find that your torso leans. That's okay. That's actually good for the purposes of what we're doing, because that means your core is working a little harder. So let's go with this now. Right leg out to the side, and then we intentionally lean the torso. Now remember, you're on a compliant surface, a squishy surface. Besides your chair, you're on a cushion or a towel. So you might not have as much control as you normally would. Let's switch sides, switch legs, switch directions now. Out. Intentionally leaning away. Switch sides again, switch legs. How about an arm coming out? Just a little pause. And then we switch arms, switch legs, switch directions. Switch again. Can we try both arms? Switch. And again, switch. Really stretch out. Be safe though. And one more time we switch. Last 4, 3, let's come back to the center. Now hands go on the front corners of the chair, shoulders back, lift your chest. And we're going to shuffle the feet in sets of 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So we're heel, toe, heel, heel, toe, heel. So when your foot goes back, you're on your toe. When your foot goes forward, you're on your heel. Put a lot of weight on your hands. Keep your chest lifted. Feel what's happening in your abdomen and your shoulders. Last 4, 3, last 1, and stop. All right, both feet on the floor, take your hands here, a little stretch through the wrists. And then separate your hands, do some wrist circles. All right, we're going to lunge once again. So our seated lunge, separate your feet. This time, as we sometimes do toward the end, we're going to stretch out our back leg a little bit more. Now watch, we're going to turn and look over the back of the chair. So you can take your hand, the hand that's closest to me, outside your front leg, or you can take it all the way around to the back of the chair. I want you to reach as far around as you can. Soften your shoulders and keep breathing. Okay, let's release that and we'll go around to the other side. Make sure you're close to the front edge. Wiggle your back foot back. And then the hand that's closest to me is on the outside of your knee or all the way around. And then release that. Turn back around to the front. Now we're going to carefully stand up. You can hold on to the chair as much as is needed. Take away your compliant surface and set it off to the side. We don't need that anymore. What we might want to do here though is get a drink of water. So take a moment. If you're going to reach for your bottle, make sure you support with one hand and take a sip. Or more than one sip. Make sure you support your back as you're reaching to set it down. Make sure it's out of your way. All right, we're right at the front edge of the chair. Hands go to the back of the chair. Your feet are forward. Lean forward until you feel an opening through your chest, a stretch through the front of your shoulders. And then release that. Now straighten one leg out. Make sure you're close to the front edge of your chair so this is comfortable. And then tip forward. And then we come up and we switch. Tip forward. All right, let's come up, scoot back a little bit. Cross ankle over ankle or ankle over knee. Tip forward once again. Back is straight. And then we're up and we're changing legs. Ankle or knee. Ooh, my knee just cracked. Do you find that with your joints that you get pops and cracks sometimes? I do. This feels so good on the hips. When we do that seated lunge, that's also a stretch for the hips. This is for a different part. And then let's release that. Take your arms back, beyond, in line with your shoulders, beyond that. Take some deep breaths. And then relax your arms, roll your shoulders back and down. So how did that feel? By adding that squishy or compliant surface underneath our hips, we challenged our stability and our balance to a greater degree than simply by sitting in the chair. As always, thanks for joining me, but thank yourself for being here and taking good care of you. And until next time, be well.